ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम्
वन्दे
परम्परा ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं कर्वावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 Om Tat Sat, Om Namah Shivaya. Good morning.
Good morning.
So today we are on the 66th verse of the 18th chapter. And this is the last teaching verse, the final summary of Jnana Yoga. So we will chant. Shri Bhagavanuvacha
श्रीभगवानुवाच
Sarvadharman Parityajya
सर्वधर्मान्
सर्वधर्मान्
परित्यज्य
परित्यज्य
Amekam Sharanam Vraja
मामेकं
मामेकं
शरणं
शरणं
व्रज
व्रज
Aham tva sarva papebhyaha
अहं त्वा
अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यः
Mokshayashyami ma shuchaha.
मोक्षयिष्यामि
मोक्षयिष्यामि मा
शुचः
शुचः.
So Shankara gives an introduction to this sloka. He says, Upasamhritya, having summarized what the essence of the Karma Yoga lifestyle, and he says, Karma Yoga Nishtaya Paramam Rahasya. The greatest secret of Karma Yoga Nishtha, which is the commitment to Karma Yoga, what is that? Ishvara Sharanatvam. You have to surrender to Ishvara. That is the greatest secret of Karma Yoga. Without Ishvara surrender, without Ishvara's anugraha, which doesn't come without the surrender, there will be no Karma Yoga. And what is this Ishvara? Nothing but Dharma. Dharma is the moral and ethical order of Ishvara. Without this vision of the entire moral and ethical order in which we live our lives, that itself is Ishvara, there can be no Karma Yogi. So remember that you can be a very, very moral person. You can be a very ethical person. You can be a very fair person. But if you do not have Ishvara in your life, you are not a Karma Yogi. And therefore, Shankara says, Atha idani, now, therefore now, Karma Yoga Nishthapalam. What is the result of the practice of Karma Yoga as a committed exercise? What is that? Samyak Darshanam. That is Jnana Yoga and Jnana. So we have to remember that this has been mentioned earlier several times, where all Shankara gives in one stroke number of slokas which we have to remember. Of course, we are not doing all of them. I just give sample. Karmanya karmaya pasyed akarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manusyeshu sayukta kritsna karma krite. Chapter 4. Naiva kinchit karomi iti yukto manyeta tattvavit pasyan shrinman sprashan jingran asnan gachan supan swasan pralapan visajan grahan unnisham nisham nimisham napi indriyani indriyartheshu vartanta iti dharayan. Fifth chapter. सर्वकर्माणि मनसा सन्न्यस्ते सुखं वशी नवद्वारे पुरे देहि नैव कुर्वन्न कारयन्. So many are there, right? So all these verses, when we study, we should remember that these verses are the essence of all the script of the Shastra, right? And this 66th verse has to be understood as the Charma Shlokaha, the final teaching verse of the Gita. And if you look at this verse, I said that it is the summary of Jnanam, final summary of Jnanam. But there is no Jnanam mentioned anywhere in the verse. There is no Jnanam, there is no Vichara. All these words are not used. And this verse can be a very, very disputed, a very, very confusing verse because it can be subject to different interpretations. How Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Simple translation is what? Abandon all your duties. Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Abandon all your duties. Right? Now, Sankara says that you have to be very careful about the understanding. When you say Sarva Dharma, he says you should equate that Dharma to karma. Therefore, when you say Sarva Dharman Parityaja, when Krishna says Sarva Dharman Parityaja, understand it as Sarva Karmani Parityaja. Understand it as renounce all the karma. Remember that dharma is nothing but karma because all karma arises from dharma alone. And therefore, when he says sarva karmani parityajya, abandon all dharmic activities also. Adharmic, though, of course, you have to abandon. Adharmic activities, of course, you must not touch. But here Krishna is saying abandon all your dharmic activities also. Abandon all your virtues. Abandon all your morals. Abandon all your ethics. Right? All this he says. And therefore, Shankara says to understand this kind of a verse, if you take this verse by itself in isolation, there will be a huge amount of confusion because it goes against everything that you have, Krishna has taught us so far. And therefore, look at the other verses. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya chaduskritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. You have to look at these verses also. And therefore, Shankara says here that when Krishna talks about dharma, he writes, Sarve te dharmaha cha sarva adharmaha. That dharma has to be taken as all dharma and all adharma. Right? So, dharma shabdena atra adharmam api grihiyate. Dharma shabdena atra. In this dharma shabdam, in the word dharma, adharmam api grihiyate. You have to take the meaning of adharma also. Right? Now, earlier he has said, the argument you have to note closely. Earlier he has said, dharma means karma. Now he says, in dharma word, when the word dharma is taken into account, you have to include the word adharma also. And he has said, dharma is equal to karma. So, which kind of karma? Vihita karma, mandated duties in the Shastra. And therefore, when you say dharma, it means vihita karma. When you say adharma, it means karma which is prohibited, right? Therefore, any karma, what does Vihita karma give you? Punyam. What does Nisheda karma, prohibited karma give you? Papam. And therefore, when he says abandon all dharma, Shankara says you should understand that as abandon all punya karma and papa karma. Abandon all actions which give you punyam as well as those actions which give you papa. Why? Shankara uses a very nice word, Naishkarmyam. That is the intention. Naishkarmyam is the intended meaning. What is Naishkarmyam? We have come across this word in the past. So, what is that Naishkarmyam? It is neither good karma nor bad karma. It is freedom from all karma. Naishkarmyam means karma abhava, freedom from punyam and papam. This is the intended meaning, right? And therefore, he quotes. He says that this is not my opinion. He quotes Shruti to support the fact that adharma should be renounced by sadhaka. Where is that? He quotes one mantra not from Gita, but from Kathopanishad. Navirito duscharitat, nashanto nasamahitaha, nashanta manaso vapi, prajnanenaya nam prajnanenam apnuyat. So what does it mean? We have all seen Kathopanishad. But just to recall, Navirito duscharitat. The one who has not given up bad conduct means the one who lacks sense control. Aviritaha, na aviritaha. Navarito is na aviritaha. Avirita means giving up, right? So the one who has not given up bad conduct in the sense of one who does not have sense control and therefore goes around chasing all sense objects. Na shantaha, nor the one who is not peaceful, means the one whose mind is not under control, right? So he's giving the definitions. The one who has no control over sense organs, the one who has no control over mind, na api sammohitaha, nama na sammohitaha, na api sammohitaha, the one who lacks concentration, right? Enam apnuyat prajnanena, can never understand his atma through jnana. One who has three things is saying here. You have to have uh, sense control, you have to have mind control, and you have to have concentration. If you have these three things, then only will you be able to understand the import of Shruti and Smriti words. Atma can be understood only if you have these three qualifications. Okay. And Shankara quotes, his knowledge is so vast. He quotes across. He quotes from Mahabharata. So he says, Tyaja dharmam adharmam cha. उभे सत्यानृते त्यजः उभे सत्यानृते त्यक्त्वा येन त्यजसि तत्यजः. Very, very, very beautiful little quote. Tyaja dharmam adharmam cha. Right? Give up dharma and adharma. Ubhe satyanrite tyajaha. So satyam here is Jagrat prapancha, and nritam is the false one, the swapna prapancha. Ubhe satya nrite tyajaha. You should renounce both the Jagrat prapancha and the swapna prapancha, both the waking state and the dream state. Ubhe satya nrite tyaktva. Having done this, a very, very important line. Yena tejasi tatyajaha. Renounce that by which you have done the renunciation. Right? Very beautiful line. Yena tejasi, that by which you have renounced, tatyajaha. Renounce that. So this is from Shanti Parvaha, chapter number 329. Okay. So what is he saying? Renounce all the tools which you have used to renounce. What are the tools you have used? Shastram, Jnanam, Buddhi. All these are Vyavaharika. So simple meaning of this verse is use the Ahankara, use the RC, the reflected consciousness you use to give up dharma, adharma, to give up the waking state and the dreaming state. And then that Ahankara, that RC which you have used to give these up, that also you should give up. Very, very beautiful quote from. So when you renounce the RC, what is left?
O C.
OC.
Brahman.
OC is left. That is what he's saying. Ultimately, only OC should be there. Okay, to come back to ours. How do, when you say that I am dharmic, what is the implication? That my karma is dharmic. And therefore, when you say sarva dharman parityajya, give up all dharma, the only way to give up dharma is by giving up karma. And therefore, sarva dharmani is sarva karmani. Right? So, dharma means all punya karmani, vehita karmas, in the form of kayika, vachika, manasika karma. Adharma is the opposite of that. So, all mandated karmas, all prohibited karmas, all Vaidika karmas, you should renounce. That is what it means. Now, Shankara says, that is very good. Krishna has said, renounce everything, all karma. But Krishna himself says two other things. What is that? Na kaschit chanapi jatutishtaya karma kriti karyate yavasha karma sarva prakriti jairgune. Not for a second Not for a moment can the person who is born renounce karma. Prakriti Jayargunehi, Sarva Prakriti Jayargunehi, Sarva Karma. All karmas will continue to be done because of the pressure of Prakriti, because of the force of his Prakriti, of his nature. He said that in the third chapter. And very recently he said, Nai Deha Vrata Shakyam Taktum Karmani Sheshataha. For one who has a body, it is never possible. Nishakyam, never possible. Asheshataha Karmani Taktum. To give up all karma. How do you resolve? On one hand, he says, give up the dharma, which means give up all karma. On the other hand, Krishna says, you just cannot give up karma. So Shankara asks, who is crazy? You, me, or Krishna? We don't know, right? To resolve this contradiction, we have to recall a previous teaching. What is that? Anybody can connect?
different levels, both the karma.
No. Prakritehe kriyamanaani gunaihi karmani sarvashaha. Ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. What does it mean? The karmas, ahankara vimudhatma, the person who is deluded, confused, karta aham iti manyate, thinks that he is a karta, right? So body alone has got karma. The karmas belong to the body, mind, sense complex. And as long as I, the Atma, have got an identification with the body, mind complex, that karma which actually belongs to the body, it belongs to me. Ahankara vimudatma kartaram iti manyate. Karta aham iti manyate. So he says basically you don't have karma at all. But because you have got deha abhimanam, that is why you think you are a karta. And when Krishna says you can't give up, he doesn't mean you, the Atma, cannot give up. He says the body, mind, sense complex can never give up. Therefore, kartritvam you have to give up. And that is what is meant in the Mahabharata quote. Yena tyajasi tat tyajaha. That kartritvam with which you have given up things, that kartritvam itself you should give up. Kartritvam means what? Deha abhimanam. You cannot be a karta unless you are identified with the body. Therefore, when you give up dharma, he is saying give up karma, he is saying give up kartritvam, which means give up deha abhimanam. Give up the identification with the physical body. So, what is the condition required for me to give up identification with the physical body? One condition only. I should know that I am different from the physical body. If I am the physical body, there is no way of giving up the identification. Right? I cannot eliminate myself. But if I am not a physical body, if I am somebody different from the Shariratraya, then I can give up the Deha Abhimana. So here, if you want to understand this, you have to go back to chapter 2, the beginning of the teaching, verse number 11, all the way up to verse number 25, 26. You have to revise completely. Understand the concept of Dehi, which is different from the Deha. Dehi is the one who is as if available in the Deha, in the Sharira. That is the Atma. What is the Dehi? We have to recall. I am the consciousness principle, Atma Chaitanyam, not part, product, or property of the body. I am the independent entity. I am this consciousness principle, an independent entity which pervades and blesses the body. I am not limited by the boundaries of this body. I survive the fall of the body. I survive the death of the body. But because the body is the transacting medium, I cannot be recognized after the death of the body. So when I get this Atma Jnanam, what is the consequence? I know that I am the Atma, different from the body. And therefore, for me, it is possible to give up Deha Abhiman. I give up all the karmas of the body. Remember that body continues to do karma. And that's what Krishna said. Pasyan Shrinvan Sprashan Jigran Ashnan Gachan Swaparshwasan. Naiva Kinchit Karomi. While all these things happen to the body, Naiva Kinchit Karomi, I don't do anything. So the Sarvadharman Parityajya means gaining Tvam Padhartha Jnana. Knowing that I, Tvam, the Jivatma, am not different from the Paramatma. No. Right. Now, when you say Parityajya, Shankara says, understand that Parityajya to mean sannyasa. Doesn't mean that I have to go and become a sannyasi by wearing the orange or the saffron robes. No. Because there are two types of sannyasas. One is external, which is wearing a saffron robe. One is internal, which Krishna has given more importance to, especially in chapter 4 or chapter 5. Right? Why is it that Krishna says that internal sannyasa is more important than external sannyasa? Because external sannyasa cannot give moksha. Right? An external sannyasi who takes sannyasa and wears the saffron robes, people say he renounces karma. But sannyasis cannot renounce all karma. Why?
They have their duties also.
They have ashrama karma also.
Yeah.
Right? That cannot be renounced. Therefore, by just taking to external sannyasa, there is no question of getting moksha. And therefore, sannyasa has to be jnana karma sannyasa, which means renunciation, karma sannyasa, renunciation of all karma by knowing that I am not the karta. And that knowledge is through jnana mano. And therefore, jnana karma sannyasa. Rejecting the idea that I am a karta, rejecting kartatvam, knowing that Atma has no kartatvam, and therefore I am not karta. Therefore, the final meaning of Sarvadharman Parityajya, we are still on the first quarter. Okay? The final meaning of Sarvadharman Parityajya is very long. Come to Karma Yoga, come to Jnana Yoga, get Chitta Shuddhi, come to Shravanam, come to Mananam, come to Nididhyasanam, and therefore remove Ajnana. Sarvadharman Parityajya, Ajnanam Parityajya. Okay. And therefore alone, the verse is dealing with Jnana. Now take the second quarter of the verse. Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. First line, second quarter. Sharanam Vraja. Take refuge in me. Surrender to me. Now, who is this me? Mam Eva. Who is this me? Is it Saguna Ishvara or is it Nirguna Ishvara? So look at the seventh chapter. Tribir bhavaihi ebihi sarvam idam jagat. Mohitam nabhijanati mamebhya param avyayam. Mamebhya param avyayam. I am beyond tribhir guna mai bhavaihi. I am beyond that Trigunatika Maya also, which means what? I am Nirguna Brahman. And not only that, in the seventh chapter itself, Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mame Vaya Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarattite. Whoever surrenders to me, he alone crosses the ocean of samsara. Tarantite. Right? Who is this Nirguna Brahman? How do you surrender to Nirguna Brahman? Again, Krishna gave the idea in the seventh chapter itself. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlavaha. Jnanavan mam prapadyate. The jnani surrenders to me. Who is this jnani? Again, seventh chapter. Udara sarva evaite jnani twatmaiva me matam. Asthita sahayuktatma mameva uttamam gatim. Jnani tu atmaiva me matam. My view is that Jnani, Atmaiva, is no other person than I myself. And therefore, Mameka Sharanam Vraja. Who am I? I am Nirguna Brahman. Therefore, connecting all these verses, Shankara says, Mam Ekam is I the non-dual one. Nirguna Brahman is the only non-dual one. Is Saguna Brahman non-dual?
No, it has name, form,
It has a name for it was God. So Saguna Brahman is basically Atma or Brahman plus Maya. It is not.
Ishvara. Hmm.
And therefore, simple words through Jnana Yoga alone. Right? So, Mam Ekam. That's the important word. And therefore, Mam Ekam means the one me, the only me, the Advaitic me. And Shankara puts it very beautifully. He says, Sarvatmanam samam, sarvabhuta sthitam, Ishwaram Chutam, Garbha Janma Jara Marana Varjitam, Hameva Ityevam Sharanam Braja. न मत्तः अन्यत् अस्ति इति अवधारयेत इत्यर्थः. Very, very beautiful. By now, I'm sure most of you have enough knowledge of Sanskrit to have understood this. But anyway, and it's very simple Sanskrit. But anyway, I will explain the words. Samam Sarvatmanam, Sarva Atmanam, who is present in all, Samam, uniformly, which means from Lord Brahmaji to the piece of grass, to a blade of grass, to a piece of wood also, to a piece of stone also. I am uniformly present in all living and non-living beings. How can you say that? In living beings, subtle body is there. So we can understand that Brahman is there. But in non-living beings, the existence aspect, the Sat Atma aspect is present. Otherwise, it would not be there at all. Anything which exists has borrowed existence from Brahman by way of Sat, Upadana Karana. Therefore, where subtle body is there, where it's a living being, Brahman's aspect of existence and consciousness can be understood. Where non-living being there, remember that you cannot say that Chit is not there. Sat and Chit are both there. Sat, Chit, Ananda are there in all living beings and non-living beings because Brahman, Sat, Chit, Ananda. But in non-living beings, in the absence of a suitable reflecting medium, the Chit and Ananda cannot be known. In living beings also, Sat is known, Chit is known, Ananda is known off and on, not all the time. Right? So this we must remember. Then Sarvam, Sarva Bhutastham Samam. The Chit aspect obtains in everything. So it is not that, Chit is an Atma alone. That Chit is there in all Anatma also. And therefore, Sat Chit Ananda Atma Ishvara. Therefore, he is present in all living beings. Hence, Sarva Bhutastham. And Krishna said this, Aham Atma Gulakesha. I am present as the Nirguna Brahman in all beings. One more adjective, Achyutam. Achyutam means the one who is never contaminated. And by anything, which means Asangaha. He is free of everything. Then there is a complex word, Garbha, Janma, Jara, Marana, Varjitam. Varjitam, free from what? Garbha, conception. Womb, basically, so birth. Janmaha, birth. Jara, old age. Maranam, death. Free from all that. When you are free from all this, you are nirvikaram, free from all changes. And Sharanam Raja. To such a Brahman, you must surrender. How do you surrender to Nirguna Brahman? By saying Aham Brahma Asmi. That is important to understand. Ahameva. Shankara says Ahameva. That is the only method of surrendering. Ahameva means that Brahman I am. That Nirguna Brahman I am. And he adds, Itti evam Sharanam Raja. In this manner only, you must surrender. Very beautiful, right? Surrender to Nirguna Brahman is nothing but claiming that I am Nirguna Brahman. Ityevam Sharanam Braja. You must surrender to Nirguna Brahman only in this manner. And na matta anyat asti. There is nothing else other than me. Who? Me Nirguna Brahman. Sharanam Braja. The definition of Sharanam Braja is the idea that na matta anyat asti. Iti avadharaya. The understanding that there is nothing exists in this universe or beyond it apart from me. Iti avadharya. May you clearly understand there is nothing in this creation other than I, other than me who is the Atma. So this understanding of the non-separation between me and Ishvara is the Sharanam, the surrender. This meaning can be taken only if you have understood the Tatparyam, the main teaching of the Shastra. And taking Ishvara as me and me as Ishvara is Jnana Nishtha, Moksha. And this is what is called Jnana Yoga Sharanagatihi. And this we saw, 13th chapter. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Understand yourself as Kshetrajnam sarva kshetreshu. As the Kshetrajna, the consciousness principle in every simple body, in every single body. And samam, you are uniform. You are not changing. You are without any change. You are nirvikaraha. And therefore, Sharanam Vraja, therefore surrender to the Ishvara. Okay, so that surrender your seat. What is surrender? Knowing that I am not different from Nirvana Ishvara and saying that I am Nirvana Ishvara. That is the surrender. Then we take the third quarter. Aham tva sarva papebhya moksha ishyami. Aham, I, tva, you, sarva papebhya. I will release you from all your papams. Right? Tva. Shankara says Twa means the person who has Nischita Buddhi, clearly understood Advaita Jnana. If you understood that, Sarva Papebhya means Sarva Dharma Adharma Bandhanabhya. All bonds of dharma and adharma, all bonds of karma and of good karma and bad karma, that is for karma bandhanaha, which means basically samsara. Sarva Papebhya means I will release you from samsara. And moksha ishyami. Moksha ishyami means I will free you. I will give you moksha. How? By revealing your true nature as not different from mine. By revealing your status as Sarva Atma. And since I am Sarva Atma, you will understand that you and I are the same. And therefore, since I don't have Punyam and Papam, you don't have Punyam and Papam either. And therefore, Krishna is saying that I don't really need to remove your Punyam and Papam because you do not have that. Right? So this Svatma Bhavaha can have two meanings. Shankara says Svatma Bhava means two meanings. One is understanding of your true nature. It can also mean your own buddhi. So the meaning of the sentence is one meaning is I will reveal your true nature to you. And the other meaning is I will refine your intellect to such an extent that you will understand your true nature. Both have the same meaning. Okay. So basically, you can understand Krishna is saying that I will refine your intellect so that you will understand your true nature. Has Krishna made this promise earlier? If so, where? So we don't remember, right? So Shankara tells us, Nashayam Atma Bhavastaha Jnana Deepena Bhasvata. Remaining in the intellect by the lamp of Jnanam, I will destroy the darkness born out of ignorance. Jnana Deepena. What is Jnana Deepam? Aham Brahmasmi Vritti. And therefore, lighting the lamp in the context of Atmajnanam, when Krishna says, I will light the lamp for you, he basically means that I will provide you with the Guru who will give you the teaching of the Shastra. And therefore, Ma Shachaha, do not grieve. You have to connect this Ma Shuchaha to which word in the Gita, to which verse?
11th,
11th verse.
second chapter.
Nanu
Nanu
Shochanti Pandita.
Shochanti
So between that 11th chapter,
Pandita.
11th verse of the second chapter, and 66th verse of the 18th chapter, the entire teaching is contained. Therefore, he says, this knowledge I will give you, and therefore you will get moksha. Therefore, stop crying. Shokam ma karshi. Do not grieve at all. With this, we have finished the 66th verse. So, any questions here? The entire teaching is over. Okay. Okay. Now comes a very, very famous Bhasyam called Upasamhara Bhasyam. Right? In the Mulam classes which we had done earlier, we didn't cover this. But here, Upasamhara Bhasyam is a must. This is the Bhasyam which is contained at the end of the 66th verse. If you are seeing 18.66 Bhasyam, you will see that when the verse ends, then Shankara starts this. Now, Gita has 5 topics: Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti, which is of course the underlying, adhishthanam for karma, upasana, jnana. Okay, bhakti is there as the underlying adhishthanam. It's not a different sadhana. And sadgunaha, the virtue is necessary. And since these 5 topics are there, different commentators often give different interpretations as the main teaching of the Gita, right? For example, Parahamsa Yogananda, he quotes Gita, but he talks about Kriya Yoga as the essence of the Gita. But Shankara says there is only one Tatparya. What is that? Jnanat eva kaivalyam. Through jnanam alone can you get moksha. What kind of jnanam? Advaita jnanam. So Shankara writes, Asmin Gita Shastre. In this Gita Shastram, Param Nishreyasa Sadhanam. Param Nishreyasa Sadhanam. The Gita Shastram, which is the highest sadhana available for moksha, the highest means to moksha. What is clearly established? Is it jnanam or is it karma? Or is it a combination? Jnana karma samachaya. Right? So the doubt is, what is the tatparyam of Gita? Is it jnanam? Is it karma? Or is it jnana karma samachaya? Right? So, which means you have to take it as a corollary, which means that jnana karma samuchaya was a main opponent those days, and the bhakti movement was not strong because Shankara doesn't talk about bhakti in this particular interpretation. Right? So, what is jnana karma samuchaya? It's like driving a car. Okay, in driving a car, let us say you want to go to a place which you are not aware of. You don't know where it is. What do? You use Google Maps, right? Google Maps by itself will not take you to that place. The car by itself will not take you to the place because you don't know where it is. Google Maps will not take you because it only tells you where it is, but it doesn't take you actually. So you need to have a combination of both. And therefore the jnana karma samuchaya vadi, he uses his argument. He says that until both things are there, jnanam and karma, you cannot get moksha. Right? After all, Gita says both are necessary. And Krishna talks about knowledge giving moksha, where yad gyatva amritam ashnote, 13th chapter. Moksha is through knowledge alone. And again he says, tato mam tattvato gyatva Vishate Tadanantara. 18th chapter, 55th verse. Again, Gyatva, knowledge only. On the other hand, in chapter 2, he says, Karmanne Vadika Asti. Karma is important. And Kuru Karmaiva, 4th chapter. You should do only karma. Karma is also important, right? And therefore, there are three groups of people who have who draw three different ideas from the Gita. The first is people like us. We are Advaitins. For us, the Tatparyam, the essential teaching of the Gita is only Jnana. Then the other people who say it is only karma. Okay. There's a third group of people, they are called the Ekadeshis. Ekadeshis. They say that you have to do both. They also call Jnana Karma Samuchayavadis. And therefore, since both Jnanam and Karma are talked about in the Gita, there could be a doubt, says Shankara, whether the hetu for moksha, whether the driving force for moksha is Jnanam alone, or is it Karma alone, or is it a combination of both? And the Jnana Karma Samuchayavadi says that Jnanam alone cannot give moksha. You have to combine it with Vaidika Karma also. And therefore, he gives a very important derivation from here. He says, since you have to combine with Vaidika Karma, who is the person who can do Vaidika Karma? Only a Grahastha. And therefore, you should not take sannyasa. And his thing is that if you keep on doing Vaidika Karma plus study Vedanta, there will be no rebirth for you. Right? So Shankara says, out of these three views, we have to determine which is the correct sadhana. And determining correct sadhana out of three, when you say only one is correct, your knowledge that only one is correct is complete only when you understand what is incorrect about the other two views. So, correct knowledge includes understanding of what is wrong knowledge and why is it right. Remember that all these are interpretations by great acharyas. We cannot disrespect them, right? We have to accept and respect all the acharyas because they are great acharyas. But respecting an acharya is not the same as accepting the knowledge which he gives, especially when we know the knowledge is incorrect. So this tendency you will find today in the use of the word liberal. A liberal person apparently today is one who doesn't criticize who doesn't think of any other view as wrong, right? You can be open-minded and you can be liberal in a lot of things. But that being liberal, which means accepting that wrong knowledge is also okay, is not correct. But open-mindedness, we should not extend to jnana. So if you find that you have a person who is, let's say, jnana karma samuchayavad, you need not go and argue with them and tell them no, 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 you are wrong and only I am right. But you should be clear in your own mind why you are right and why he is wrong, at least in your own mind. And therefore, as a Vedantic student, especially as a Vedantic teacher, clarity of view is needed. And that is why Shankara says, therefore, it is necessary to arrive at a detailed analysis, necessary to commence a detailed analysis of this topic to understand what is the Tatparyam of the Gita Shastra. Okay. Now, in the traditional method of arguments, you have Shankara, you present your own view also, right? So here Shankara presents what is called Pratipadana. It is the overview of Siddhanti, or overview, or summary basically. So, what is moksha in our language? We have been using the word triangular format and binary format. What is triangular format? It is Dvaitam only. It is duality only. Three components are there. Jiva, me, Jagat, world, Ishvara, the Lord. Right? What is understanding? I, the Jiva, am troubled by the Jagat, and therefore I need Ishvara to save me. So moksha is possible only when one moves away from this triangular format into the binary format, which for us is what? I am Satyam. The world is Mithya. So Satyam Mithya is the binary format. Anatma, Atma. As long as you are in the triangular format, the world is troubling you, and therefore you need Ishvara. As long as you need Ishvara, karma is real, karma phalam is real, therefore there can be no moksha. Okay? This understanding should be very, very clear to a Vedantic student. If you are a karma yogi, you are needing Ishvara as support. As long as you need Ishvara for support, you are accepting that karma is real and karma phalam is real. There can be no question of moksha at all. Because when I pray to Ishvara, I am saying I am Jiva. And therefore, removal of the Jiva Bhava is never possible. Jiva Bhava is samsara. Of course, availability of Ishvara is a major advantage for the karma yogi because he is the creator and the protector. But the major defect is what? Your continuity as a Jiva. Because as long as you are a Jiva, karma will continue. As long as you are doing karma, as long as you are a karta, phalam will continue. Karma phalam will continue. And therefore Shankara writes over here. It's called the Pratignya Vakyam. This what we call mission statement in today's management language. The mission statement. What is that? He says, Atma Jnanasya tu kevalasya nishrayasa hetutvam. Atma Jnanam alone is the means for moksha. And the word tu here is important because it says that tu is a dismissal. It dismisses the uh, karma view and the jnana karma samuchaya. He says, unlike we don't agree with the other two views, Atma Jnanam alone is the means for moksha. Jnanam alone is the means for moksha. And how is it that you say that knowledge of the Atma Jnanam brings moksha? Because as long as there is Atma Anatma difference, there are thoughts of differences, right? Bheda. Differences are there in your mind. As long as something is different from you, you will have fear. What will happen? And therefore, when you understand Atma is the only thing which is there. I, Atma, am the only reality. Everything else is mithya. When you understand that, you know that there is no second thing. All thoughts of duality are gone. So, Bheda Pratyaya, notion of duality are gone. And when nothing else is there, where is the question of me being afraid of anything? And that is moksha. So, when I know that Atma is mithya, what is left out is I alone, Satyam alone. And therefore he says this Bheda Pratyaya, this Bheda Buddhi, the false notion of duality, it consists of three things. Kriya, Karaka, Phalaha. What are the Kriya is the action, Karaka is the factors of action, and Phala is the fruit. So whenever you are in duality, whenever you are in Dvaitam, these three things will keep bothering. Kriya, Karaka, Phalaha. And what is this thinking pattern? Shankara writes, Mama karma. These are my actions. Aham karta. I am the doer of the actions. Amushmai phalaya idam karma karishyami. Amushmai phalaya. For these, the phalams of these actions, idam karma karishyami. I will continue to do these actions. This is the Bheda Pratyaya. This is the thoughts arising out of this, putting the legs into the dualistic universe. It's the notion of duality. And so there is Atma Ajnana. Because there is duality, I am taking the world as real and myself as real. So there is the ignorance about Atma's real nature. And this self ignorance, he says, is not new. It has always been present. And there is something very peculiar about self ignorance. Time cannot end it, which means in due course, it doesn't apply over here. This cannot naturally end. Atma Ajnanam is present from Anadikala, from timeless beginning, and therefore it cannot end in time. It cannot naturally end. It has to be ended deliberately. So, time, he says, destroys everything. Right? We say time is the great leveler. Right? Time destroys everything, excepting two things. One, of course, Atma. Atma can never be destroyed by time because time is born in Atma. The other is Atma Ajnanam. This also cannot be destroyed by time. You have to deliberately get the knowledge, and the knowledge alone, which is opposed to the ignorance. That knowledge alone will destroy Atma Jnana. Right? Then what will remain? Out of the two things that time destroys, Atma and Atma Jnanam, that time does not destroy. Atma and Atma Jnanam. Deliberate Jnanam will destroy Atma Jnanam. What will then remain is only Atma. As long as Atma Jnanam is there, the world will continue. Duality will continue. And what is this Atma Jnanam? Shankara says, I am Aham Asmi. Kevalaha Akarta Akriya Phala. I am this Brahman, self-evident consciousness. Kevalaha, only one. Akartaha, free, not a doer. Akriyaha, free from all actions. Aphalaha, abhuktaha, free from all phalams. And there is no other Satyam than me. Namatta anya asti kaschit. There is no other Satyam other than me. Everything else is Namarupa. This alone is the understanding, which he saw long ago, where in Tattva-bodha, Aham Satyam Mat Vyatirikta Sarvam Mithya. I alone am Satyam. Everything which is different from me is Mithya. Okay, now I ask a good question and think before you give the answer. Is Ishvara Satyam or Mithya?
Ishvara is also Mithya.
Okay. Anybody has a better answer? No?
When we understand Ishvara as Saguna Brahman, Maya Sahit Brahman, then it is Mithya.
And
And when we
Yes.
understand the Arupa Nirguna Brahman, that is the Satyam.
something missing in the definition.
Aham. When I understand.
I.
Yes. So Ishvara as something different from me is always mithya. Ishvara as me, aham atma gudakeshaha, sarvabhutasya sthitah. That is always Satya. The good nididhyasanam to have. Ishvara is both mithya and satyam, depending upon how you look at Ishvara. Ishvara apart from you, separate from you, is always mithya. Ishvara as yourself is Satya. And Shankara says, when that Atma Jnanam in this particular form that I am everything arises, he says, this internal conviction is there, but it must be constantly refreshed. And when you do that, it destroys that dualistic viewpoint, which is the cause of karma. It destroys ajnanam. When ajnanam is destroyed, adhyasa goes away. Once adhyasa goes away, ragadvesha will not go away, but it will become non-binding. And therefore, non-binding activity will continue. Your karma of the body is no longer karma for you. It is karma abhasa, as if karma. And karma abhasa is mithya, producing no punyam and no papa. And then Shankara says that since moksha is not a product, it cannot be produced by karma. Karma can produce only 4, 5 things which we know. Moksha is none of them. Therefore, karma cannot be the karanam for moksha. Why? Because moksha is outside time and space. Why? Moksha is Atma. Time and space is inside Atma. And the Atma is eternal. And since the Atma is eternal, and the Atma itself is moksha, there is no need to produce that moksha since you cannot produce Atma. Moksha cannot be produced, Atma cannot be produced. And therefore, karma has no relevance in moksha, excepting to the extent of Chitta Shuddhi. Therefore, his conclusion is that this, he calls it Nitya Vastu. And then he makes one very nice statement. He says, karma cannot produce moksha, right? But remember, he says that this Nitya Vastu cannot be produced by karma. But he says, you should remember that this Nitya Vastu cannot be produced by Jnanam also. Very beautiful statement. He says, Nahi Nitya Vastu Karmana Kriyati. That Nitya Vastu, that Brahman, that moksha cannot be produced by karma. And he adds, Nahi Nitya Vastu va Jnanena Kriyati. That Nitya Vastu is not produced by Jnanam also. So everybody is totally confused. If karma and Jnanam both don't produce moksha, then what is the problem? Right? So now there is a Purvabhaksi. He catches on to this statement. Which statement? That this Nitya Vastu is not produced by Jnanam. And therefore he says, in that case, even Jnanam is useless. Is it not? Karma is useless, you are saying that because it doesn't produce moksha, it doesn't produce Nitya Vastu. And now you are saying that even Jnanam cannot produce that Nitya Vastu. So not only karma, Jnanam is also useless. So with this, we'll stop for today. Any questions?
But then moksha, if we look at it as a product, then that argument can be accepted of Purva Pakshi. But moksha is not a product.
Moksha is not a product, it is always there.
Mm.
And therefore, it need not be produced by jnanam or by karma.
Mm.
Okay, so we'll see the detailed argument by Shankaracharya on this in the next class.
Only one question now.
Yeah.
We interact day in and day out with people who we consider as jnani or bhakta or whatever we call it.
Yeah.
So the person who is real jnani, he will display certain characteristics which may be equal to a normal ahankari person, the person with ego. So how to differentiate between two of them? I mean, that always is.
You can never differentiate. Only the jnani knows whether it is a jnani or not. And he will never say, I'm a
Jnani
jnani.
can be known only by jnani. I mean, that's
Only
the
by himself.
ultimate.
Only by himself. Nobody can know whether you're a jnani or not. Because what is the proof of jnanam? Aham brahmasmi conviction. That firm conviction. You can derive by the fact that he doesn't get angry. But the fact is that jnanis also get angry. So external symbolism is not a quest, not a identifier of jnana. Only the jnani knows. Remember, there are jnanis who can get angry very fast. And remember that the state of the mind has nothing to do with your conviction of Aham Brahmasmi. To link the two is a mistake. To say that, how can I be a jnani because I'm still getting angry is a mistake. You cannot link your jnanam status to your mind.
But what I'm talking about is while interacting with the other person, if I want to know whether he is a real jnani or he is talking out of his ahankara.
You cannot know.
Beautiful.
There is no way you can know. Only he can know, and he will never tell you because if he says I'm a jnani, then he's admitting that
Then he is not a jnani.
then you're not a jnani because he's admitting that you are not one, which means he's saying you are not Brahman. So that he can never say that.
But Sudhirji, there's no advantage of knowing if the other one is
Absolutely. Absolutely.
advantage.
When we have known ourselves, there is no need to know the others.
Yes.
I mean, because there is no other.
Yeah, there are no others.
There are no
Finally.
others.
Like Ramana said.
Like Ramana
Yeah.
says.
Yeah. Thank you, Raviji.
Okay, so with this we'll stop for today.
Thank
Om Purnamada Purnamidam
Purnamada
Purnamudachyate
Purnamudachyate
Purnasya
Purnasya
Purnamadaya Purnam
Purnamedaya
Deva
Purnamedavasishyate.
Om
Om
Shanti
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 Shanti. Om
Shanti.
Tat Sat, Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Acharya ji.
Tat Sat.
you,
Om Namah
Acharya ji.
Shivaya. Thank you.